Okay, I think that's working. Okay. Yeah, I think it's recording now. So, hi everybody. My name's Chandler Sabisky. Um, so today for my project, you can see I have my guitar right here to kind of convey some uh, messages I have about my communication myth that I chose, and that was the one that more communication is better, and that it solves everything. Is that more communication solves everything, and I don't necessarily believe that's true. Um, the myth is also a myth, so it's not true. And today I'm going to show you a little bit of perspective of how I feel that myth is debunked and why it's a myth. Um, I I know that in a lot of relationships, a lot of the relationships succeed because of their effective communication that they have. I know my wife and I have found a lot of success in our relationship because of our communication skills. But I know there's also several things that don't need to be communicated that ought to be done but still convey a message. So to communicate that today, I just wanted to get my guitar and kind of go through the lens of music. And I thought it would be kind of fun. So um, to start off, just very basically, right here is an E major chord. And it feels very open. It feels kind of almost resolving, kind of liberating a little bit. Just a basic. What's really cool about music is all you have to do is change even one note and listen to this. And it goes from to. It completely changes the entire feel of the song and of the chord without saying a word. That's one super cool thing about music that I found, and why I found people could be so creative in conveying their thoughts and their feelings and emotions through music, is because they don't even have to use any words. All they have to do is change one little note from this very open, kind of liberating chord to one that's a little bit more closed off, reserved, and more kind of introspective, which is really cool, all done by just changing one note from right here to, which is really cool. And then you get artists who can use different layerings of chords and different progressions that can completely change the feeling of the song. So there's one song that I really like by John Mayer, and it starts out like this with the chords. So you can kind of hear in the beginning here, there's a little bit of tension when he goes, and then it immediately goes into, and there's a little bit more of a resolution. During this song, he's talking about how the beginning of a relationship, there's a lot of tension, and it didn't start that way. It shouldn't have started that way, but they have different priorities, and eventually they're both happier. And so there's a little bit more of a resolve at the end. The beginning is more kind of the relationship being really rough during the progression, and he tells the story over and over again throughout the song through the progression with these more minor chords into resolving chords, which is really cool, and you can even hear it in his playing as well. During different parts of the progression, he'll be soloing harder, and then during the softer parts, he's kind of playing softer and a little bit quieter and a little bit nicer. And so you can see in his music, it starts out really upset, resolves to a little happier, which is really cool. And then you get songs that start out just like this. You can already tell that there's just tension right from the get-go. And then when they're soloing throughout, it's just right where it's just kind of anger and kind of remorse throughout the whole song. And I didn't have to say any words, and you can kind of tell that already. Whereas during this song, kind of listen to how I play this one and see if you can get kind of a feeling from this one. Kind of listen to what pops into your head, what words pop in your head. See how it's a little lighter feeling? It's a little bit more free flowing. Not really much sadness in this one. Right? Not much sadness in this one. And so that's one cool thing I found about music is that there's a lot of ways for people to express a message without saying a single word. You can kind of tell where the artist is going just by the sound of the chords, the way they structure them, and everything could change with one little note, and not even a single word was said. But you can tell that the overall feeling and the overall message and the overall direction of the song is changing. And that's one cool thing I found with communication, especially um, in my interpersonal relationships I have, as well as my professional relationships at work. Um, One aspect of my personal relationship with my wife, I know, especially if she's having a bad day and she's communicated that to me, um, I know without her even asking that she's expecting me to be there for her. Um, and one way I know to help her is to make her day better is to have a clean home when she comes home. I know that she doesn't ask me to do it. She never has. Um, but I know that if she's having a hard day and she comes home to clean her home, that helps solve a lot of things without her having to ask. Um, if she was feeling very frustrated and asked the house to be clean, it might frustrate her a little bit more. Um, Same thing kind of goes for a workplace. If I'm a manager at a restaurant as well as my wife. We both have the same job, the same restaurant. And um, if our employees, we see that they're kind of sitting around, kind of on their phones, taking a long time on their breaks, not doing their side work, um, it the whole restaurant kind of seems to slow down and kind of fall behind a little bit because they're not getting their work done. But it is an unspoken rule that here's your side work. This needs to get done. We shouldn't have to ask our employees to do it. They should just be doing it. It's a knowledge that they have that they should be doing it. And when they don't, it kind of frustrates us because we need to then communicate with them. Hey, you need to be doing your side work. It's not getting done, and it's slowing you down, and it's slowing everybody else down. In turn, we get frustrated. They get frustrated when we're hounding them, asking them to do their work, and and then the entire process gets frustrated as well. Things tend to get slowed down. We can't get as many things done as we're supposed to. They're not getting their work done. But when we aren't saying anything, and because the employees are doing their work, they're keeping up on their side things, doing everything they need to, the restaurant runs completely smooth. There are no issues. And if there are issues that arise, it's a lot easier to accomplish and solve them because everybody's done their work without having to be told. And so that's in one aspect I feel like uh, where saying less is very effective, whereas saying more can tend to be annoying, especially if people are doing their side stuff and you tell them, hey, make sure you're doing your stuff. They're like, I am doing my stuff. And then they get frustrated and they could get a little stubborn, and then the whole process can get frustrated again. And so that's just a little intro to my paper and my final project and my communication myth. Um, and I can't wait to hear some of your guys' feedback and see some other papers. Thanks, guys.